Elida made the best use possible of their first playoff football appearance in nearly 30 years when they extinguished the Tippecanoe Red Devils' comeback plans 26-21 on Saturday night, November 6th at Tipp City's City Park. The twilight matchup served nicely as an Ohio High School Athletic Association Division III Region 10 quarterfinal. It was also Elida's first ever playoff win. Tippecanoe 9-1 entering the game while making its sixth consecutive D3 playoff appearance, watched seemingly passively as the visiting Bulldogs raced to a 19-0 halftime lead, having coughed up 2 easy touchdowns in just the first 8 minutes of the first quarter. The most telling statistic of the evening was Tippecanoe's uncharacteristic 5 turnovers, meaning 2 fumbles and 3 interceptions. In the end, those miscues plus a blocked punt in the end zone were enough to seal the deal for Elida. With the stunning upset, Elida, 9-2, moves into Division III Region 10 semifinal action next weekend against playoff perennial Columbus Watterson, and that'll be Saturday, November 6th at 7 p.m., and it'll be at Piqua High School's Alexander Stadium. It's right off the highway there at I-75. Just stop and ask directions. You're only a couple blocks away. Meanwhile, Tippecanoe's 2010 football season is finished, but by most accounts it was a good ride. Highly regarded Elida junior quarterback Reggie McAdams unofficially completed 22 of 32 passes for 248 yards, and he also scored on a 7-yard keeper on the game's first possession. Running back Colin Blymer unofficially had 16 rushes for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 1,098 yards and 5 touchdowns during the regular season. McAdams, entering the evening, had thrown for 2,327 yards with 31 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. All of this against traditionally outstanding Western Buckeye League competition. And if anyone out there had a better ratio than 31-3, please let me know at alex@miamivalleysports.com. Thank you. As we said previously, Elida led this game at halftime 19-0, based largely on opportunistic play, having to do with Tippecanoe's uncharacteristic inability to control the football. On the first possession of the second half, Red Devil place kicker, punter, and safety Kyle Pinatello, the son of Dr. Mike Pinatello, one of our stalwarts on the MVP podcast, fumbled the long snap on a 4th down and raced 14 yards to secure a first down. 9 plays later, Kyle Watkins scored on a quarterback keeper, and Jake Polanski scored a 2-point conversion, and suddenly the score was 19-8. For the evening, and unofficially, the Red Devils had 283 yards rushing. On the last possession of the third quarter, Tipp drove again, and this time Polanski scored from the 1-yard line, but the conversion failed and the score became 19-13. The Bulldogs, responded like champions by driving the length of the field for their final score, a 1-yard Bleimer off-tackle dive that gave the Bulldogs a 26-14 lead that they would never relinquish. Although no one knew about that at the time.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
The hometown favorites took the ensuing kickoff and drove with an authority that they hadn't displayed all evening. And when Burrell scored with 3:29 left in the game, the score was 26-21. The team that had been in the playoffs so many times before and knew just how to win was suddenly back in the thick of things against a team that had no playoff experience whatsoever. And it didn't matter. Pinatello, a second-team All-State D3 punter last year, who, as you might recall, has already fumbled a snap and had a punt blocked in the end zone already in this game, hustled and tried to come up big with an unassisted onside kick recovery. And he got it, but it was ruled the Bulldogs' ball when it was determined that the Tipp senior had touched the ball before it had traveled 10 yards. And if you ever wondered what it was like to watch Charlie Burbacker jump up and down, this was your opportunity, and you should have been there. A minute later, a still desperate to make things right Pinatello forced another fumble as a safety this time, but the Red Devils couldn't capitalize, and the game ended. Elida 26, Tippecanoe 21.
Pinatello came through with another big play to strip that ball away.
Yeah, and we did. We got that opportunity to try to, gave us another opportunity to try to get the ball in the end zone. So.
And Kyle also did what he had to do on the punt miscue that he ran.
First down, yeah.
That kept that drive alive.
That kept that alive.
I mean, he was playing.
So, we had some opportunities, and then it was a game of using the opportunities, and you got to score on those. I felt going into halftime it should have been 35-0, but give credit to Tipp City, man. They fought back, and golly, their kids were resilient all day, and they happened to find a formation that worked for them, and they stuck with that formation, and it was a new formation that we've never seen before, so we had to kind of adjust on the fly, but then our kids know how to come back from the adversity, so our kids are just great.
There's a lot of fumbles on both sides of the field. I'm standing here shaking. It's cold as heck out here. Is that pretty much what you accounted on?
Well, the ball gets slick in these conditions. Yeah. The footballs that we use, and it's just if you're not two hands on the ball, it's gonna pop loose. On a cold surface, and guys' hands are cold and stuff like that. So we'll go back and we'll correct those mistakes and get Colin, tape the ball to Colin, but he'll be fine. He'll bounce back. He's our man. We got to ride our man.
That was a great call on 3rd and 6.
Oh, thank you.